The recent update from the Israel-Hamas conflict is that Yahya Sinwar is dead. It's no longer news at this point, and I'm not here to offer another repetitive analysis of the current geopolitical situation in the Middle East. This is an attempt to raise a serious question about Islam that should give every sensible Muslim a pause. The question is, was it worth it? Is it worth it to be as devoted to Allah as Yahya Sinwar? But first, who is Yahya Sinwar and what has he done as a devout slave of Allah? Here are 5 things about him that are crucial to our conversation. 1. He could recite the entire Quran by heart. 2. He was indeed the butcher of Khan Yunis. He debuted his career in terrorism by killing Palestinians suspected as informants for the IDF. 3. He was the mastermind of the October 7 attack in Israel that killed over 1,200 people, including babies. 4. He was okay with sacrificing the lives of innocent Palestinians during this year-long conflict with Israel. 5. Though he kept hiding in tunnels like a miserable rat and was even reported to be disguised as a woman, Yahya Sinwar desired the death of a Shahid, and last week on October 16, the IDF happily granted him his heart's desire. Donald Trump's words for describing the death of Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi perfectly applies to the death of Sinwar.
He died like a dog.
But despite every Muslim Hamas sympathizer calling him a Shahid, is Yahya Sinwar really in paradise? To understand this question, we must consider a few crucial details about Allah and his one true religion. Let's begin with Quran 3 verse 54. And they devised, and God devised, and God is the best of devisers. The word translated as devise comes from the Arabic root word translated by our Almorid Arabic dictionary as deceive, delude, cheat, or dupe. And as a noun, it is cunning, craftiness, slyness, deception, deceit, guile, artifice, and willingness. So Quran 3 verse 54 is best translated as they deceived, and Allah deceived, and Allah is the best of deceivers. Now this fits with the context of this verse, which talks about the crucifixion of Jesus. According to the Quran, Jesus wasn't crucified. Allah delivered him from the hands of the Jews by deception. Quran 4 verse 157. And for their saying, we slew the Messiah, Jesus, son of Mary, the messenger of Allah. Yet they did not slay him, neither crucified him. Only a likeness of that was shown to them. The Arabic word in Quran 3 verse 54 also appears in other Quran verses like chapter 8 verse 30. And when the unbelievers were devising against thee, to confine thee, or slay thee, or to expel thee, and we are devising, and God was devising, and God is the best of devisers. Another instance is in Quran 13 verse 42. Those that were before them devised, but God is the devising altogether. He knows what every soul earns. The unbelievers shall assuredly know whose will be the ultimate abode. Allah surely sounds impressed with his ability to act like an internet fraudster. He compares himself to deceitful unbelievers, taking pride in beating them at their ungodly game. He's not morally superior to disbelievers, but rather superior to unbelievers in immorality. He even deceived the devil. He reported the devil as saying in Quran 7 verse 16, My Lord, in the manner you led me to error, I will make things on earth seem attractive to them and lead them to error. So Iblis, the enemy of the soul of Muslims, was the best graduating student of Allah's University of Cosmic Deception. But he isn't the only victim of Allah's deception. Quran 4 verse 88. What has happened to you that you have two minds about the hypocrites, even though Allah has reverted them owing to the sins that they earned? Do you want to lead those to the right way whom Allah let go astray? And he who Allah lets go astray, for him you can never find a way. Okay, so apostates are victims of Allah's deceit, which is the reason for their apostasy, which Allah deems irreversible. Quran 14 verse 4. And we have sent no messenger save with the tongue of his people, that he might make all clear to them. Then Allah leads astray whomever he will, and he guides whomever he will, and he is the Almighty, the All-Wise. Yes, Allah is the Almighty and All-Wise in leading people astray. He deceives whomever he pleases. Now the Quran uses other Arabic words to describe Allah's deception. One of them is found in Quran 68 verse 44 and 45. So leave me with him who cries lies to this discourse, who will draw them on little by little whence they know not, and I shall respite them. Assuredly my guile is sure. The second word is found in Quran 4 verse 142. Indeed, the hypocrites think to deceive Allah, but he is deceiving them. And when they stand for prayer, they stand lazily, showing themselves to the people and not remembering Allah except a little. So here, Allah is condemning lukewarm Muslims, calling them hypocrites who try to deceive other Muslims with half-hearted devotion. But as always, when Allah sees a deceptive person, he sees an opportunity to show his greatness in deception. Muslims who may think that this verse don't apply to them and trust that Allah won't deceive them or lead them astray should consider Quran 7 verse 99. Do they feel secure against God's devising? None feels secure against God's devising but the people of the lost. So feeling secure from Allah's deception is a sign that you are among those he is deceiving. Hey, it gets worse when you consider this hadith. Abdullah bin Masud narrates that Muhammad said, "By the one beside whom there is none other worthy of worship, one of you will do deeds of the people of paradise until there is between him and it but a 4-arm span. Then he is overcome by what is written for him, and he is sealed off with the deeds of the people of the fire, so that he enters it. And indeed, one of you will do deeds of the people of the fire until there is between him and it but a 4-arm span. Then he is overcome by what is written for him, and he is sealed off with the deeds of the people of paradise, so that he enters it." So everybody already has their eternal destiny decided before they were born. Allah may lead a person to become a pious Muslim, but if he has been destined for hell, Allah will lead him astray towards the end of his life, despite his pious years. So how can a Muslim be sure that hell isn't his destiny? Perhaps engaging in jihad and dying as a martyr is the surest way. I mean, after all, Muhammad said, "The matter has 6 things in store with Allah. He is forgiven from the first drop of blood that is shed. He is shown his place in paradise. He is spared the torment of the grave. He is kept safe from the great fright. He is adorned with a garment of faith. He is married to wives amongst the wide-eyed houris, and he is permitted to intercede for 70 of his relatives." But in this hadith, he also said, "All the sins of a shaheed are forgiven except death." And here he said this about a matter, "Nay, not so. Verily, I have seen him in the fire for the garment or cloak that he has stolen from the bounty." So essentially, a matter is forgiven of all his sins except the sin of theft and acquiring debts. I mean, so the fear of Allah's deception isn't alleviated by martyrdom. How can a martyr be sure that he isn't a debtor or a thief? If Allah has destined him for hell, he might acquire debts or steal, and Allah will make him forget, while also piously leading him to fight as a jihadist, only for him to die and discover that Allah was tricking him the entire time. So how can a Muslim be sure that this isn't his fate? I mean, this was the fear of Abu Bakr. He was the first convert and rightly guarded caliph of Islam. When Muhammad asked to marry Abu Bakr's 6-year-old daughter, he didn't refuse despite the absurdity. And when she was 9, he prepared her to be sexually penetrated by the 52-year-old prophet. So when Muhammad promised 10 people a place in paradise, the first name he mentioned was Abu Bakr. Yet when he was getting close to his grave, his confession was tragic. Here is what was written about him. Although he had such a faith, which was so great to suffice all the inhabitants of the earth, he was afraid that his heart might go astray. So he used to utter while weeping, "Would that I had been a beaten tree." Whenever he was reminded of his position in Allah's sight, he would say, "By Allah, I will not be rest assured and feel safe from the deception of Allah, even if I had one foot in paradise." Chai, what a tragedy. I mean, see the parallels between his dread of Allah's deception and what Allah declared about those who feel secure from his devices. If this was the case with Abu Bakr, a man of great faith, what chance does Yahya Sinwar have? What chance do you have? But the God of the Bible is completely different. Numbers 23 verse 19. God is not a man that he should lie, nor a son of man that he should repent. Has he said and will he not do? Or has he spoken and will he not make it good? Hebrews 6 verse 17 and 18. Thus God, determining to show more abundantly to the heirs of promise the immutability of his counsel, confirmed it by an oath, that by 2 immutable things in which it is impossible for God to lie, we might have strong consolation, who have fled for refuge to lay hold of the hope set before us. The name of this God is Jesus Christ. He is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through him. And by faith in him, we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of sins, according to the riches of his grace. Hence, he spoke with certainty to the thief on the cross. "Assuredly, I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise." And that's why John said, "Love has been perfected amongst us in this, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment." And unlike Abu Bakr, whose final days were filled with dread and anguish, the apostle of Jesus had a different confession. "I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Finally, there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will give to me on that day, and not just to me only, but also to all who have loved his appearing." My Muslim friends, which final moments do you prefer? One with peace and certainty like Paul, or one with dread like Abu Bakr? I present before you hope and hopelessness, truth and deception, eternal security and cosmic despotism, life and death, Jesus and Allah. Please choose life that you may live free of fear, judgment, and condemnation. Serving the best of deceivers isn't worth it. It wasn't worth it for Abu Bakr. It wasn't worth it for Yahya Sinwar or Ismail Haniya, and it isn't worth it for you. If you are still watching this, then congratulations. Allah, the greatest of deceivers, is leading you astray, but you can outwit him today by demolishing that like button. To challenge him to a deception match, hit the subscribe button and ring that notification bell. And to prepare for the showdown with him, click on this video here. It explains the twisted sense of justice that Allah is proud of.